Mr. President.
The Senator for Texas.
Mr. President, today's decision from the U.S. Supreme Court in Department of Homeland Security versus Regents of the University of California is disgraceful. Judging is not a game. It's not supposed to be a game. But sadly, over recent years, more and more Chief Justice Roberts has been playing games with the court to achieve the policy outcomes he desires. This case concerned President Obama's executive amnesty. Amnesty that President Obama decreed directly contrary to federal law. He did so with no legal authority. He did so in open defiance of federal statutes. And of course, he was celebrated in the press for doing so. Obama's executive amnesty was illegal the day it was issued, and not one single justice of the 9 Supreme Court justices disputed that. Not a one. Chief Justice Roberts wrote the majority opinion, joined by the 4 liberal justices on the court. This is becoming a pattern. The majority assumes that DACA, Obama's executive amnesty, is illegal, and then bizarrely holds that the Trump administration can't stop implementing a policy that is illegal. Think about that for a second. And in fact, it's even worse. The majority explicitly concedes, of course, the administration can stop an illegal policy. All parties agree, that's a quote, all parties agree that, quote, DHS may rescind DACA. Okay, easy. Everyone agrees. DHS can rescind DACA, right? Not so fast. A clever little twist. The majority says, you know what? The agency's legal explanation wasn't detailed enough. Yeah, you got the authority to do it. Everyone agrees. There's no argument that you don't have the authority to do it. But we're checking your homework, and you know, the memo you wrote explaining it just didn't have all the detail we need. Just a touch more, so start over. What's interesting, Mr. President, is that it's exactly the sleight of hand that Chief Justice Roberts did almost exactly a year ago today. In another case, where the chief joined with the 4 liberals from the court and struck down another one of the Trump administration's policies. In that case a year ago, the Commerce Department, which is charged by the Constitution with conducting a census every 10 years, the Commerce Department wanted to ask a common sense question. The course of the census, are you a citizen of the United States? That's a question that has been asked in nearly every census since 1820. And ain't that complicated asking someone in the course of a census, are you a citizen? But in today's politically fraught world, the Democratic Party has decided they are the party of illegal immigration, as is the press. And so what did John Roberts do a year ago? Same thing. Wrote an opinion, said, oh, of course the Commerce Department has the authority in the census to ask if you're a citizen. Of course they have. We've done it since 1820. For those who are math impaired, that's 200 years ago. And steadily since then, every 10 years, over and over and over again. But no, John Roberts, little twist of hand. You know what? The Commerce Department didn't explain their reasoning just clearly enough. We looked at their memo announcing it announcing that they were making a policy decision that they had unquestioned legal authority to do, that Bill Clinton had asked that question, the Bill Clinton administration. But John Roberts and the four liberals are going to strike it down because they say it wasn't explained clearly enough. Mr. President, this is a charade. Last year, they pretended it was just about the agency could go back and do it again. They knew full well there wasn't time to do it again, that they had to start the census, and so they got the result they wanted. They didn't like, as a policy matter, asking this. There was no legal reason, no legal authority to strike it down, so they played a little game. Go back and start over. And of course, now we're doing the census without asking that question. That's the same game here today in DACA. They don't like the policy, so they say, just go back and do it over. Just give a little more explanation. Just start over. Everyone knows the game they're playing. They're hoping that that in November in the election, that there's a different result in the election, that there's a new administration that comes in that decides amnesty is a good thing. And so this sleight of hand is all about playing policy. 5 justices today held that it was illegal for the Trump administration to stop breaking the law. That's bizarre. And the reasoning is because the Obama administration violated federal immigration laws, for now, wink, wink, let's pretend, because that's what they're doing is pretending, Trump has to continue violating the law and behaving illegally. And Mr. President, Chief Justice Roberts knows exactly what he's doing. We saw earlier this week a decision rewriting Title VII of our civil rights laws. Rewriting Title VII, the prohibition on sex discrimination, on discrimination against women or against men, rewriting it to add sexual orientation or gender identity. Now, as a policy matter, there are a lot of people that support that. Indeed, legislation to do that has passed the House of Representatives twice. It's passed this body once. But the court just rewrote it. The court just engaged in legislation plain and simple, as Justice Alito powerfully wrote in dissent. By the way, Chief Justice Roberts, again in the majority, assigned that majority. This is gamesmanship. Chief Justice Roberts knows exactly what he's doing. The fact that elites in Washington don't see a problem with illegal immigration doesn't answer the reality for millions of working men and women who do. And these kind of games ultimately make a mockery of the rule of law. They make a mockery of the Constitution and Bill of Rights. It's the same legerdemain we saw Chief Justice Roberts do several years ago, upholding Obamacare, where again, just with a little flip of the wrist, he changed a penalty into a tax. That's not clever. That's lawless. This decision today was lawless, it was gamesmanship, and it was contrary to the judicial oath that each of the 9 justices has taken. I yield the floor.
All post-cloture time has expired. The question now occurs on the nomination. Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Barrasso.